Riaan Manser is in the third year of the Matrics in Antarctica Project, taking 5 matric pupils to Antarctica to see firsthand what our consumer choices do to the planet. Now, he was taking them to a far warmer neck of the woods, facing its own challenges.
Hi, I'm Riaan Manser, explorer and author, and I'm visiting Mauritius this week. I've got my friend Nick Hammond, 5FM DJ and good guy, coming to share some amazing environmental experiences with me.
As Mr. Manser renovates a boat to sail the world next year, he and I are concerning ourselves with the state of the planet.
Mauritius has this iconic beauty that all of us have grown up with a sense of awareness of. It's the place where people come for honeymoons and reunions and all different kinds of pivotal moments in life to relax on the beach and have the greatest time in the world. But when we got here and we went beyond the postcard, we learned about the inner workings of the country. We learned about the people. We learned about the different places. We learned about things that happen in a place that is so much more complicated than you first give it credit for.
As a boy, Riaan was in foster care until his school principal, Margaret Wilson, gave him a home. In turn, he's taking the next generation under his wing.
We've come here to the southeast of the Mauritian island, a place called Ferney, a place that is very, very famous for the 2 species of bird that it's been actually able to save. The Mauritian kestrel and the pink pigeon, not even known to the average South African. The pink pigeon down to 9 breeding pairs and the Mauritian kestrel down to 5. Now, can you imagine that the people who are over here spending their lives to save 2 bird species so they don't become as famous as the dodo? We got to a place where we saw the pink pigeon in real life, able to actually take a photo or 2. We also hunted for the Mauritian kestrel, which evaded us.
An expedition leader who's rode oceans making time for little creatures inspired a similar vision in Khosatsana, Mabalane.
So before we went out to go see the pink pigeons, we went into the nursery and we were able to see a couple of the laborers, which I love because I like to engage on the people that are here every day. They see the environment every day. They have a very intimate connection with it. So they're the best to give you a really good perspective on how it is on an everyday aspect. And we were able to pick one of the plants and we were told to smell it and it smelled like apple. And I thought that was very nice.
To Tswaledi Tlakudi, each stop was an education.
Today we're here at Long Beach at the Sun, and we learned more about their sustainability programs and what they're doing as an establishment to limit their carbon footprint. Like a lot of the establishments we visited, we learned a lot about their triple bottom line approach, what they're doing to enrich their community, what they are doing in terms of economics, what they're doing in terms of the environment, the things they're doing in terms of energy consumption, saving water, and the thing that really stood out for me was just their commitment to an environmental sustainability program.
It was a big positive to find out how much emphasis this major hotel group places on the environment.
We have a very long-term, good project, very well established throughout the group. It's a flagship project for the environment. It's called Tread Lightly. And through Tread Lightly, we like to involve our team members, our guests, and everyone outside the company into this very important mission of biodiversity conservation and overall having always that sort of green mindset.
As Riaan's life testifies, there is an ocean between saying and doing something. An idea not lost on everyday Mauritians, whose livelihoods were threatened by an oil spill in these waters. Faced with devastated coral reefs, they decided the solution lay in their hands.
The program started back in 2018 with the collaboration of University of Mauritius. During the COVID, there was no activity. Everything was actually shut down. So during this time, we have actually noticed that the coral has actually grown faster. We have restored 3,000 meter square of coral around this region. It is to the benefit of everyone, of all the resorts of our community. We engage with the community, we engage with the local fishermen, where we call them the local gardeners. They work with us, the local community work with us. They take the coral and they actually go again and plant it with the marine biologists, and they are known as the coral gardeners.
For us to hear about this concept of actual coral farming, imagine, we get told by people that, okay, coral reefs are getting destroyed, there's coral bleaching, there's a problem in many reefs and oceans globally when it's related to coral growth. And these guys at the University of Port Louis were saying that they are finding solutions. It was amazing. I mean, you snorkel, but then you internalize that theory that all came to life. We realized it can actually grow coral. We have challenges, but it's not an impossible challenge.
For helping to farm coral, which could last centuries, certificates are nice, but for Delisha Davids, the bigger picture's even better.
So when we visited the oil site, underneath my MIA shirt, I was wearing a shirt that said community. And to me, that was also a big theme that stood out this week. And we specifically spoke to Davina and Christoph, who are owners of a diving center. And their story and the way that they presented their experiences about the oil spill was really, really deeply touched, I think, all of us. But what I think was the lesson that we can take away to South Africa is how community can stand up and can come together after a crisis.
After the spill, damaged sections of the reef were covered in sand to protect them.
The coral was so beautiful. I could see exactly the area where the oil spill was. I could see it was covered completely in sand. And knowing that that was the effect of the oil spill is truly sad, and that previously was coral and a beautiful habitat for fish is quite sad. But knowing that it's able to grow now again and it's starting to get some life back again is exciting. And knowing that the community created that is truly inspiring.
This expedition continues what Riaan told himself on his first adventure. That if he comes back with great stories to tell his grandchildren, it will be enough. Those following his lead are achieving that and so much more.
One of the biggest takeaways was it was beautiful and also important to see the human behind the environmental crisis, the human behind the response to those crises. And I think being exposed to the Mauritian people and their experiences, if you leave this trip without it having impacted you in some kind of way, I'm not sure if you're a human being. So that to me has been really very special.
My perspective has completely changed, environmentally, socially, and personally as well. There was a lot of personal growth. I've learned a lot of things, and all the mentors we have and all the conversations I've had, and not just surrounding the environment, has definitely grown me, and I definitely make a lot of different choices environmentally.
The environment does not exist in isolation to other factors. So culture plays a role in it, socio-economic things play a role with it. And actually interacting with the Mauritian people brought that way more into emphasis. It emphasized that a lot more, so yeah.
I think that the philosophy behind the matrics in wherever they would happen to be is about finding young South Africans, putting them in environments and allowing them the opportunity to learn immersively. I feel very strongly and passionately that we need programs and projects like this. And I think I've seen change in all of these young people firsthand over the course of the last week as they've been exposed to the world in a new way and encouraged to think about it in ways that they previously maybe hadn't. Matrics in Mauritius for me is something that I don't think I'll ever forget.
Here's to the class of 2022, returning here in 2052 to a blossoming reef and pink pigeons as far as the eye can see. Get more of the Insider Essay online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider Essay. Watch the show Monday evenings at 6, repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.